We seem to be streaming live on Facebook, but Simone is muted. Were you going to say anything to me, Simone?
Hello. I'm saying hello without an echo. So I find out how to do that. Hi, Monica.
Hi.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for this creation that's about to come up. Like, you are such a plant whisperer. And now I should probably also translate. Let's translate afterwards. I'm better to just, yeah. So tell me, how did all of this start for you?
Um, that's such a great question. Well, some people have heard this a lot, but it was such a huge moment in my life that I like to tell people about it. So when I was in my early 20s, I was working for a woman who started talking to me about the consciousness of the earth. And she was talking about nature spirits and stuff like that. And I just thought, "Oh, that's so wonderful. I mean, like, I wish that that would exist. It sounds lovely. And something in my world was like, just like doing backflips, you know? And then, but I wasn't sure, how to interact with it really. And then she asked me to go outside and cut a whole bunch of these plants back that were growing on her house. And I was like, but it's alive. Is it gonna be okay? I mean, and so I just went out there and I was like, all right, hello, everything. If there's anything here that would like to be cut, please let me know. And if there's anything that wouldn't like to be cut, please let me know. I have this job to do, so show me. And I just started going for it. And then every once in a while, my hands would just stop. And it's like I could have continued to move my hands, but they would just stop. And so then I would like see what was it that I was about to cut through. And it was so useful. There were moments I was about to cut through the like watering hose and I was about to cut through other plants. And I was just like, it worked. I asked and I got information, and it was subtle, but it was clear. And so then I just started asking all sorts of questions everywhere that I went just because it was fun. And it really was such a cool gift of getting to play with the world and play with my own curiosity and to trust myself more and more that I wasn't crazy, that I was getting information. And so then the more that I would engage with plants, I just discovered all sorts of things. And so then it became like, my greatest playmate. And a lot of the information that I was getting, especially at first, was really via my body, like that, my hands stopping or all sorts of things. So that's kind of where it started. And then it's just grown and grown.
So, what would you say, like, if people have a lot of body stuff going on, can plants contribute to that? Has that to do with Earth? What's your point of view about that?
Yeah, well, oh, I have a great story and then just some information. So I studied in graduate school Chinese medicine, and we studied a lot of different herbs. And we would talk about the herbs as, there's so much when you're sick or you have a problem within the kind of Chinese medicine paradigm, different herbs can help kind of balance the body. And it's a whole different way of looking at the energy of the plant and like how the plant, where the plant is on the earth and how the plant kind of moves. Does it help with clearing water from the land? Maybe if you have, water retention problems, that could be useful, kind of stuff like that. But then we would look at not just the energy of the plant, but the smell and the flavor, and you'd use all of that. And I started to notice that there would be times that I would just be holding an herb and I would have a sense of what it was, what its impact on the body can be. which to me is just so amazing to look at, that it doesn't only have to be if you ingest it. It doesn't only have to be, there's not only one way to receive. And there was a moment years ago that I'm pretty sure I was bit by a spider in the middle of the night, something like that. I woke up and my foot felt like I had like kicked something really hard. And then and it was kind of strange. It was like, what did I do? I couldn't recall anything. But then over the course of the day, it got harder and harder to walk. And then I had a sense of like venom going up my leg. And so I tried all of these kind of like home remedies, like putting a potato on there and all sorts of stuff. But then I was going to have to travel and on the plane, and I was like, okay, I can't die from like venom issues while I traveled to see my parents. That would be no fun at all. So then I went to an herb store and I asked, do you have any suggestions? And they said, oh, this one plant is really good for it. And that particular plant happens to be one of my favorite plants. It's just, you see it everywhere and people have all sorts of opinions about it. They're always pulling it out of their garden. They're like, it's a weed. It's called plantago or plantain. And it's just everywhere. But so I always look for it because it's like my friend. And I was living in New Orleans at the time, and they said, "Oh, this plant is helpful for that." But I hadn't seen that plant anywhere. I was always looking for it. And so then I just was like, I have to get to the airport soon. I need to find this plant. What do I do? So I just went outside and I just said, "Okay, plant, where are you?" And I walked directly to a patch of this plant, and it was like I thought I'd looked there. It was amazing. And so then I just grabbed some of that plant and I kind of mushed it and I put it on my foot. And within an hour, I could walk again. And, it was just like, that is such a cool example to me of like actually being assisted by plants. And of course, that is kind of more of like the herbal application of the plant, but there's so much more of like receiving actual healing energies from plants that's possible, that may be far beyond what people have thought possible.
I love listening to you. Like, wow. And I remember once, I'm not sure where we have been. I had also body stuff going on. And you said, like, what about just reaching into the earth and ask for everything your body is asking for? Like, that's so easy. Like, and pragmatic.
Yeah, it's like I have a billion stories and I have a billion tools, and I learn more and more all the time, and so I'm super excited about that. But we have a call coming up, and so I can't tell everybody everything because then nobody will even want to come to the call.
Oh my God. If you have good zillions of things to offer, I mean, I'm sure there's always more. Yeah, like next week on the 28th of May at 7 p.m. CET. What's that in America?
That will be noon in Houston.
Like 1 hour later than now on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do a call on bodies, plants, and the earth. And like, how are they communicating? How are they talking to each other? And, it's so amazing. Like, really, the simplest thing is to acknowledge that there is a conversation going on. And sometimes what I find people do is like they'll hear the conversation and they'll go, oh no, the sky is falling. Oh no, it's horrible. Rather than, oh, what is this? And and what is possible to contribute to this? And there's so much that you can go into with just what is this? Who does this belong to? What am I aware of? And it's just so cool, some of the many ways to acknowledge that you are walking around through a nurturing world. If you were on the moon, it would be different. You know, if you were on another planet, it would be different. I used to just when I was little be so excited to like, we live on a world with plants and not all of the planets have them. And like, how cool is that? And they help us breathe and eat. And you know, it's amazing the gift that they are. And when you actually kind of tap into them, the even greater gift they're willing to be. And what a huge, huge like blast it creates into the plant's world for you to receive them.
Mm. And just listening to you, I got like, wow, how often are we truly acknowledging the earth and the plants, what they're actually contributing to us? It's a kinda yes, or like, yeah, I know that's happening, but like, I'm not sure if I ever truly fully acknowledged what I'm supported with. So, wow.
Well, okay, so I have to tell you one more story. So I got my first foster plant a couple years ago, and at this point now, people give me I call it plant hospice. I get all of the plants that people are like, this one's dead or basically dying, and then I get to kind of nurture it back to life. But this was the first plant that I was going to take care of and then give back. You know, and it was this fern that I got from Gary Douglas. He really likes a certain type of fern, and this one really wasn't doing well. And so I got it, and I just, oh, honestly, I could tell you so much about this fern. It's taught me so much. It's like one of my closer friends. And when I first was like working with it, it just kind of, it like looked sick a little bit. And a lot of the stuff that I was doing and being with it, and honestly, a lot of it was an energetic thing. I wasn't like fertilizing it and, you know, doing a lot of physical messing around with it, but just kind of being with it. And I kept on noticing this energy that was like not vibrant. And so then I found out that one of the people who takes care of the plants over at Gary's place, that he had had cancer and he'd been kind of struggling with cancer. And then I asked the plant, oh my goodness, like, were you trying to heal this person? And it was a very clear yes. And then I just asked, you know, could this person receive it? Or and it was like, not so much, you know? And so then I asked the plant just to let go of that. It didn't have to do that job. And instantly, I had a friend there, a witness. Instantly, it looked better. The color changed. The plant like kind of came to life. It was amazing. And that was such a cool sense of like, I know what it's like for me and for other people to not be acknowledged and how you can kind of start to wilt a little bit. And then when you truly are acknowledged for the gift that you are, what it is that that creates in your world. I didn't realize it as clearly with the plants, you know, and that this plant was desiring to contribute to somebody's cancer. It's like, I didn't even know that it could, you know, not in that way. And, you know, what would it be like for us to actually live in and create a world where people are receiving from this truly nurturing planet and walking around and, you know, contributing so that everything can bloom more, you know? It's like, why not experiment with this? It's not going to hurt anything for you just to look at a plant and be like, hi, you know? And by extension, the whole earth. I mean, there's, like I said, there's so much more to go into around this, but when I say plants, it's because I get really fixated on plants because I love them so much. And of course, the earth is this enormous being that is such a contribution to us all that we quite often it's almost like it's hard to comprehend something that is so nurturing and so generative and so able to change. It like blows my mind, and yet we live here, you know.
This is so beautiful. I sometimes also be on walks and like, wow, the earth is so vibrant and alive. And then us people are so busy with inventing problems and all kinds of interesting things, whilst there's everything there. And like, I just had a conversation with a friend today, and I was like, wow, you know, in Access, we always say you only can see what you be. And I'm like, what am I seeing and perceiving in and with the earth? That's also me. Like, there's that power, there's this potency. Like, earth doesn't have a point of view of like a volcano or like floods or whatever. Earth knows what it's doing. And we can perceive that, we're receiving that. So we also can be it. And I wonder what earth can show us, and plants. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to next week. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, it's so hard to kind of stop talking because I just want to say so much. And I've been creating different classes of like talking to the plants, and I'm going to Taiwan in the beginning of June and going to do some classes there. And it's just so amazing to have the sense of like a different place on the planet. And I really have a desire to see what it would be like to let the plants lead the class. I have so many ideas, but like, what if we were all to be so vulnerable to not talk over the world, but to actually listen to the world and move with it?
Wow. So when is this class? And is it also online available?
Yeah, oh yes. It's in 20 minutes. Come on. No, it's June 1st and June 2nd in Taiwan. So who knows what time that is where you are. I'm gonna do like a 2-hour intro class and then a longer 4-hour like dive into talking to plants. I'm just and yeah, so that will be live and online. So we'll get to play with people from all over the world and get to play with some of the kind of more energetic hands-on ideas that I really like to play with.
Hmm. Thank you so much. I wonder, like, there's so much, and at the same time, so less words. And I'm so grateful that you bring this into the world in a way that only you can. It's so inspiring.
Cool. Thank you. Oh, okay. So before we go, really quickly, can I just show you? Because in addition to all the other hospice plants I get a billion orchids. So right now I have about 50 that are in bloom that are
Wow.
hiding all over my house. It's like almost like I
This is awesome.
so my house is totally it almost looks like I'm being attacked by orchids. So I just had to like show you some of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you on the 28th.
Yes. I hope we see a lot of you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Monica.
Bye.
So